Hello everyone, my name's FlareBlitzed and welcome back to what might be the last time on Doki Doki Literature Club Plus with a super secret side story unlocked. When you play through all the 6 other side stories, there's a little hidden bonus at the very end of the list. Equals, I imagine this will be a wonderful time which is filled with the last 2 CGs which have left to be unlocked. Begin the side story? Absolutely. That is why we're doing this. Okay everyone, we're going to be taking a break from the usual activities today. I was thinking since people are starting to talk about the festival, it's a good time for us to go over the general direction of the club and all that. I think it will help us figure out what to do for the festival, you know. Oh, so you and I have already come up with a really good plan. Really? For the festival? Yeah, so the plan is this, okay? You and Yuri collect information ahead of time on which clubs and classes are doing food booths. Then we take a map and plan the most efficient route so we can get to most of them before the lines get too long. Hey, that's nothing to do with the club. Well, you have to let me finish. Alright, fine, go ahead. Siri always thinks about food. So basically, we get all the food we can, then we come back here and we all eat together. That's all. Wow, I get tricked twice by the same joke. Boo! Don't be a hater. It's not like you can come up with anything better. Look, even Yuri was thinking about it. No, I wasn't. I'd really prefer to do something literature related. We can eat together any time. The festival is a unique opportunity. Besides, it's been quite a while since we've seen any new interest in the club. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. We really get a shot at showing people what the literature club is all about. I'll tell you what, we could do both, right? We'll make your time for your food mission, still put together a public event. Oh my gosh, yes! I was just joking, but that's a really good idea. Well, I'm glad that's settled. I think the question is how to come up with an event that demonstrates everything you could get out of the literature club. Well, that's kind of tough, because everyone gets something different out of the club. Okay, how about this? Let's go around and have each of us talk about what we've gotten out of the club so far. This could really help us figure out what kind of reputation we want to build. Yeah, that's too embarrassing. Ah, but you have so much to talk about, so that's exactly why. And I'm sure Natsuki feels the same way. Well, maybe, but I didn't plan on arguing against or anything. I mean, it's the literature club. We'll talk about that stuff together, right? And the only way to get more comfortable with it is to suck it up and do it. Oh? You're not wrong. I'm sorry for being resistant. Again. It's not good to say suck it up because it sounds like their feelings don't matter. Right. My bad, sorry. It's just a habit I need to break. I try to combine bad and habit together. Well, anyway, I bad it. Who's gonna start? I'll start. I was the first to join after all. Wouldn't that be me? No, I want to go first. Fine, you can start, I don't mind. Yay! So, gosh, it feels like so long ago. I think I joined because I wanted to have fun sharing poems with people. It seemed like it would be a safe way to express myself. You know, like if it's just a poem, then I can share it without feeling like I'm burdening everyone with my problems. And I thought it would be a really good way to get to know other people too. So yeah, I really was surprised when I walked in here and it was just Monica. And she was sleeping. Don't remind me of that, oh gosh. Yeah, but it seemed like so much fun to help start a new club. Especially since writing helped me so much. I wanted to see it help other people too. But in the end, it ended up being me who was inspired. Because I remember feeling like Monica, who was just sweet and mature, and that I could trust her with anything. It made me feel a lot less alone, having someone who knew even the bad things about me. And at the point I knew the literature club was going to be special for a lot of people. Yeah, I felt the same way. It really helped give the club a more cohesive vision. Yeah, and then Yuri joined, but she was so different from us, and Natsuki too. I think for Yuri, it really helped for me to take the lead before she was able to open up a little. But Natsuki was kind of the opposite, where she wasn't ready to get really close to someone really quickly. I never really thought about that sort of thing. I really feel like I've gotten better at understanding people's different needs, and that makes me really happy, because my friends are just the most important thing to me. And whatever new members we get, I want to help them in those ways too. I don't know if I would have continued to come into the club if it wasn't for you. Really? I know it wasn't too long ago, but it hurts to think about my behaviour back then. I was really short-sighted. The only reason I came was to find others who were into fantasy. I suppose that was my idea of making friends with people, and I remember feeling uncomfortable because you and I have such different energy. I had such a specific idea of the kind of person I could be friends with, so when Shiori tried so hard to get to know me, I felt like I was just wasting her time. I think I was naive to assume that similar interests were the key component of friendship. No. Shiori and I were able to be friends because she always thinks about the needs of other people. That's something I'd never know how to do, or even thought to do. But I stayed in the club, and thanks to that, and I started trying as hard as I could to understand people better. You really went above and beyond when it came to that. I was just super impressed. Well, I always hated if I didn't know how to behave like a person who is easily liked by others, like the two of you can. And because of that, I spent so much time thinking about my own behaviour, and all the wrong things I said. But the whole time, I should have been thinking about other people instead, not myself. Once I started doing that, I was able to make friends with everyone else. Oh, also, I discovered that sometimes I'm a better communicator when I take the time to write rather than speak. It's so strange the way things turned out. It's so far different from anything I ever would have expected, but I'm happy. I suppose you don't always know what we really need. Oh my gosh, you're so cute that I'm going to throw up. Oh, please don't do that, Shiori. Besides, I'm not cute. Hey, isn't that my line? Oh, well, for me it's actually true, so... What are you saying? Nothing. I finished my part, so somebody else can take their turn. My heart. Shiori, take some deep breaths. Okay, fine, I'll go. Yuri, I can't believe you're complaining about doing this and still want before me. What a show-off. I was just following up on Shiori. It was the easiest way to get it over with. Besides, you left the most important thing that you get out of this club. I did? Yeah, a regular supply of your favourite cupcakes. No. Oh no, I forgot that too. I'm a traitor to the cupcake queen. What the heck? Neither of you are forgiven. Looks like only Monica will be getting a cupcakes next time. No! I can't eat that many cupcakes. Yeah, true. Only Yuri can. Hey! Well, anyway, I'm just putting off talking. It's kind of hard to talk about this stuff. But I guess what it comes down to is that I'm in a much better place mentally than when I was when I first joined. And that's because everyone helped me realise I had some really toxic friendships going on outside the club. It was honestly a really painful thing to go through, having to cut them out. It still hurts to think about. I'm sorry, Natsuki. It's fine. I knew it was for the best, and I was right. I guess for me it's all about feelings. I was only ever ridiculed for having feelings, so I thought the right thing to do was to just ignore them. It took me a really long time to realise that it's not really how things are supposed to work, and I guess that's thanks to everyone who took the time to respect my feelings, even though I was being like the biggest jerk. I'm really sorry for being such a jerk to everyone. I was really the worst. Natsuki's voice chokes a little. We love you, Natsuki. I just hate that I was like that. Everyone did so much for me, and I could never do anything in return. That's not true. Natsuki, you've done a lot more than you think. This club really wouldn't have been the same without you, I mean that. Remember how judgmental I was when you first showed up? It was like I couldn't accept anything other than my own idea of what a literature club was supposed to be. Apparently, that was more important to me than the opportunity to bring you some happiness. You really taught me that anything that makes someone happy is worthy of respect. You even inspired me to start playing piano. That's something that means a whole lot to me. So there's no need to put yourself down. Okay. Natsuki wipes her eyes. You helped me a lot too. It's so much fun to have you around. And you helped me become a better person. Having a problem doesn't make you needy or inconvenient. It means there's something that needs to be better for you, and you always deserve that. I agree. Seeing us have some of the same struggles made me a better person as well. I wouldn't want to change anything about our time here. I don't think any of us would. I'm sorry I got all dramatic again. That's all I wanted to say. So Monica can go now? There's no need to apologise. It was something I wanted to talk about anyway, because it made a big difference for me. I was always such a strict perfectionist who never took enough time to believe in the best of other people, but everyone kept proving me wrong. I made the mistake multiple times thinking that my way was the best for everyone, or thinking that I was needed to solve other people's problems. No, you can always lend them a helping hand, but it's always up to them to do the biggest bulk of the work, because it is their issues, their insecurities or dealings to understand and evolve to be able to go across and solve those problems. But I think being a leader means you have to acknowledge that you're not perfect, and that the best thing you can do is help guide people rather than to do everything for them. Exactly, guidance, not doing it for them. We're all good people, we're all equals. I think that's the most important thing I've gotten out of the club, realising what that really means. Siri, what are you doing? I just thought we should be writing some of these things down, things about the club that are valuable to us. With a piece of chalk in her hand, Siri writes the word trust on the chalkboard. This is because you showed me that I could trust you with everything about me, not just my good side. Suddenly Yuri takes a piece of chalk as well. She writes, understanding. I owe a lot of gratitude to everyone who took the time to understand me, even though it was so difficult for me to express myself. In that case, you're gonna do respect? Monica takes a piece of chalk as well and writes the word respect. I always thought I was a respectable person, but it took the club for me to realise that there was a lot more to it than I thought, and I'm a better person because of it. I have another one. Balance. Stewie writes balance. Sometimes people want different things out of a friendship, or they need time before they're ready to become close, so it's important to keep things balanced between you and the other person. That reminds me. Reflection. I've always been a reflective person, but most of it has been nothing more than hating myself of all the things I thought I did wrong. Once I started reflecting on other people and not just myself, a lot of things changed for me, so I think that's the most important one for me. That's great, we have a whole list of things now. What about self-love? Suddenly everyone turns to look at Natsuki. Well, everyone took all the chalk. Don't look at me like that, jeez. You could have just asked. Monica hands her piece of chalk to Natsuki. Then Natsuki sighs and writes, self-love. I don't know how far I've gotten with it yet, but it feels like things are at least on the right track. So there, that's my contribution. Together, everyone stares at the words on the board. Wasn't this club supposed to be about literature? This is about literature in a way. It is. We still do a lot of literature. Friendship and literature. Yeah, you're right. Friendship and literature. Natsuki and Yuri gently nod as well. Hey, let's all take a picture together. We don't have one yet, right? Hey, alright. Make sure you send it to me after. Wait, can I brush my hair first or something? Oh, you're fine. You already have the best hair out of all of us. Wow. Everyone get together. I can't fit you all in. Okay. Okay, everyone. And click. Aww. How'd it turn out? Oh, we didn't see the final result of the picture. Come on. I'm really glad we talked about this stuff. It's easy to forget how far we've come with only 4 members. Yeah, I have so many happy thoughts right now. I'm getting some really good inspiration for a poem. You know, I feel the same way. I kind of want to get some writing done. Me too. I think I would like that as well. Equals. Everyone's looking at me again. I'll do it too, but I might not feel like sharing it. That's okay. Inspiration after all. Before members of the Literature Club disperse and return to their desks, each equipping themselves with a pen. Natsuki and Yuri give each other a quick glance, then start writing immediately. Yuri sketches, then does the same. But Monica is left tapping her pen against the paper, unsure where to start. Are you going to write yourself a character to join within the Literature Club? Just move your hand. Monica mouths herself. With the way into your heart. Right the way into your heart. Monica? Her mind is full of thoughts, memories, and inspiration. Monica navigates past her mental barriers and begins to write. It doesn't matter what, just say something new. This song again? It's like a remix of it. Doki Doki Literature Club Plus. Aww. Seeing the credits like this feels like some kind of finale. Oh no. I've so thoroughly enjoyed this. That's why I get playing this game. Not like anything to do with time, stuff like that, but I just thoroughly enjoyed it. Like, if you feel like you're going through a game too quickly because of time stuff and thinking like you should get something out as quickly as possible, no, that's not the case. Even though it may seem like on the outside, but I thoroughly love this game. Like, the different characters with their own different struggles and the backstories. They explain so much about these characters and how they got to know one another. It has to be canonical with the story. Like, these are all prequels to the main game itself. It's how these characters budded and understand one another and got past their own weaknesses and stuff like that. If it wasn't for the struggles that these characters went through, then they wouldn't have been able to understand one another entirely. But then again, there's also a factor of the fact that a male joined the class, or the club, sorry, and that kind of threw things off. But the last bit about Monaco just writing her hand away into a heart or something like that, I've forgotten the exact quote, but it's like, that could be related towards what she wants to do next, and that is to bring a new character into life. So, for me, I still think, in a way, that Monica is the most selfish out of all of them. And these... Oh, thank you, dear player, for enjoying our story of friendship and literature. Thank you so much for making this game, honestly. It's been such a wonderful blast, made with love. I don't care if people say that it's overhyped, honestly, because if something is that loved... Oh my gosh, that is so good! That's so good! That's so lovely. Just a tale of 4 people with such different individualities. So, friendship and literature. So that is finishing all of the side stories. So, pictures... Oh my god! So that was the other one, for goodness sake. Yeah, Yuri does not want to make a silly face. Everyone say cheese. Okay, now everyone make a funny face. Okay, that's well hidden there. Oh, dearie me. Like, that's so cool. That's really cool. Gosh, all the stuff I've yet to unlock. They're all within the main game. Like, the secrets are in the main game and they're randomized. Oh, gosh. I don't want... Oh, okay, so there's mail as well. Let's see. Issues caused by unprotected memory. Has anyone evaluated the side effects that might be caused by sharing a memory pool between multiple VMs? Rather than allocating them separately, I'm looking at some of the files VM1 is generating, and I'm finding some information that definitely shouldn't be there. I haven't seen any evidence that this is actually affecting the inside of the VM itself, so I don't think that this is a priority, but it's definitely worth noting. My best guess is that memory being fed from VM2 isn't getting zeroed out, which technically gives VM1 access to it. All the info I have will go into the issue tracker, but I want to check if anyone else already noticed something along these lines. There's still some mail which is left to be opened, and it could be that the original, well, the first ever inbox email that you could get is on the 1st of December. Or it could somehow be related to Monica's birthday, which, wasn't it November? Like, go down here, go to, celebrate Monica's birthday. Or maybe it was within a cold season, or cold month of winter, or something like that. Like, it's not like summertime or anything like that. It probably definitely is the cold season, unless I'm misinterpreting things. But there's still a lot here which is left to be uncovered, and that is down to A, the different kind of combinations within a game, which unlocks the rest of these sketches, but B as well, selecting different words, but different word combinations. Like selecting, let's say, horror unlocks one, delete Monica for the second time, finish all of the side stories, make it through the weekend. It's just so much of a blast, but I think I am contented with what I have here. I may go over, just try and find the rest of the missing images in my own spare time, because I'm not looking for like a completionist let's play when it comes to like all of the different small goodies that you can find within the game. I'm very happy with this, with how this turned out, and I'm thoroughly glad that the story went this way, like just going through the different scenarios and stuff like that, putting all the different details, like the background to this, and then putting the characters in as well. Like I remember there's like a combination of 3D and 2D aspects which were talked about in one of these. Yeah, first rendered in 3D, some final adjustments were required to make sure the 2D drawing of the character fits seamlessly into the perspective of the scene. So the background is 3D, while, let's say, Sayori, for example, is 2D. Got to incorporate the different elements into it, and then it makes it finalized and stuff like that. It's just so much hard work. So much work that you don't even realize goes into something, which makes it just so worthwhile. And it's some of the comedy factor into the game as well. Like there's little bits of funny moments in this, and there's so much emotional moment. Like honestly, that as well as something is just so endearing. Just trusting something with another person that you've just met because you feel like you have a mutual bond with them. Monica opening up to Sayori when Sayori was at her very worst within the game, or the second worst being obviously when the suicide happened. But this as well, Sayori approaching Yuri and making her feel welcome. And then there's this one about these two making up and respecting one another's wishes. It's not just Monica respecting Natsuki for having a different taste in which Monica envisioned it initially. But then she learns that it's not all about what the club president wants, but it's what everyone wants. And that mutual respect is so important. And a fine balance between being involved in someone's life, like that was a struggle in itself, because they both got like the wrong idea about each other. Sayori thought she was invading Natsuki's life, and then when she thought that that was the case, that she needs to back away. But Natsuki thought that Sayori doesn't like her because of the way Natsuki reacted. And then there's these two about reflection on different kind of aspects of actually. It's actually once I've forgotten about like the different things in, but reflection of your own life and stuff like that, and how you interact with others. Like Monica helps Yuri try and find that. And then there's this one as well. Like this one was just one of those endearing pieces, because you don't expect these two completely different characters to get along with each other. And it's just so wonderful. The other thing I could say that could be incorporated is with different variations of these images, because it's not just one emotion. There's lots of different emotions in each scene. Like, let's say this one, and then it goes to this one. Yeah, I so can't believe that Yuri would just do that. Ashamed to do a funny face, so she just pulled her hair over to look like a mustache. I think that's actually what it is. It looks like a mustache. I just realised that now. A rather wonderful mustache. Okay, so let's go through these letters, actually. That's a gratitude. Monica's final message. That's a bad ending. So acquire all of Sayori's other poems. This was not within the game, but something you can only see here. There once was a ladybug. It was so small, it took a really long time to crawl from here to there. It was very tiring to fly for too long. Nobody squishes ladybugs because they're so cute. Does it make them better than other bugs? Do ladybugs know they're cute? I think they're too preoccupied with bug things. And so the ladybug crawled around and did bug things. Big things I always saw that as. and so the ladybug crawled around and did bug things. The story wasn't really going anywhere, but I know you don't mind. I hope you think it's nice for being there anyway. Like ladybugs, like this ladybug, the one who clings like a dough onto your sleeve because it knows you won't squish it. If it doesn't bug you, will you stay a while? Okay. Let's see. Natsuki. This is definitely Natsuki, right? Yeah. I named my pen the Expression Express. Oh god, that's quite hard. My feelings are bored with a ticket to you. No room for stammers. No lies. No extra stops. No compromise. Station screaming by. Attendants saying hi. One ticket to you? Please and thank you. Take a headphone and doze. No bumps in the rails, just thumps in my heart, and loops in my letters, and clouds in the sky, and dreams in your eyes. Hey, wake up, the train has arrived. Expression Express, destination you, choo-choo. That's quite cute. Let's see Yuri's ones. My conduction motions for one crescends after the next, each time falling short of a climax. Ugh. The lump in my throat is carried by syphilis. How many words must I choose not to say before they finally break loose? Endlessly piling out of my mouth like a flock of schoolchildren at the start of recess. Pen cannot be erased, but even that metaphor fails comically as my floor is littered, blanketed with wasted paper. A canvas of my mind, full of disjointed thoughts and unfinished sentences. Perhaps all along it was wrong to try forcing them out of my room, and I should instead invite you in. And this one. An electrical signal, this is Monica by the way, an electrical signal from some remote corner of my brain. This connects well with the emails, doesn't it? Connecting all kinds of circuits and nerves and chemicals in a web understood by nobody. The chemicals make my chest tingle around my beating heart. The nerves make my hand move, stain a dead tree with some dark substance. The ink reflects light into your gleaming eyes. Holding this paper is almost as though you are holding my hand, which wrote it. Let our emotions steer together until our hearts beat in harmony. Connect to each other, I feel electric. What are all of these final things about, though? Like, they're definitely messages, but I imagine that there are some incredibly smart people that can dissect the meaning behind each of these dialogues, each of these poems and stuff like that, and to be able to know, like, actually, I think those two should be the other way around. Monica's poem in Act 3. A continuation of Monica's first poem, only appearing in Act 2. Yeah, this one said deleter. Okay, so it doesn't have all of it, which is annoying. Like, it should have all of the letter on it. Like this one. Monica's second poem. And then this one should have another bit with it, where it appears at the bottom, which is deleter. Because this one says load me. The other one says delete her. Doesn't say delete me, for goodness sakes. An unusual poem written by Yuri. That was within the second act. Monica's first poem. Like, some of these have more to it than it just is. Yuri's special poem required by writing all three poems of her. It goes under the light part 2. I think it's because the main character points out about the fact that there could have been a ghost within that story. The raccoon. And then third poem, that would be if the character did not look through the game for all of Yuri's poems. Goes under the light, that was the very first one. Poem by Natsuki from that's from the side story. Natsuki's special poem required by writing all three of her three poems for her. So yeah, this was about for the character in itself. Natsuki's second poem, Natsuki's first poem. Poem by Siri for the side story, and then Sierra's second poem. What was Sierra's third poem? Unless, of course, it's not here, but would there be different iterations of Sierra's third poem? Unless she never shared it. Oh, because she went home early, that's why. Gosh. There's so much to this, and I can't express how happy I am to go through this game once more in a new light of seeing the characters in new ways. Like, these side stories in a way are both a prequel to the main game, but also as well I think they are canonical. Like, I would think that these side stories are canonical to the game's events, and it just makes Monica look even more of a villain, considering that all 3 and 4 of these characters helped Monica, even though Monica still has that selfish desire of what she wants the club to be. Like, I feel personally that Monica only opened up to these characters just so that in the end she can still betray them by exploiting their weaknesses. Like, Sayuri, just before this cutscene appears, she mentioned about Monica mentioning something that Sayuri should do, and I feel that the unfinished sentence would be completed by Monica's right, I should just kill myself. And I think that is going to be the case in all of that. Backgrounds as well, very important. They paint a picture. I always thought that these tags were different, but I think that's always been the case. Oh, green is a nice colour as well with all this, because none of the other characters are green themed, aside Monica's favourite colour being green. But there's so much here, so much wondrous adventures and stuff like that. It's just so captivating. People say this game is overrated, but I highly doubt it. I see why it's so popular. Not just for the fact it was for free at the very beginning of, not the very beginning of 2017, but in the beginning of this game's likeness. Like, so many captivating moments here, and you can relate yourself to at least one, or if not all of these characters in some way. Sayuri with the struggles of her depression, Yuri with her struggles of getting confidence to socialize and be able to open up to others. And then there's Natsuki, who struggles to be kind of honest with herself and break away from a group of friends that were toxic to her. Like, that's what we learned within Yuri and Natsuki's side story about the toxicity of Natsuki's previous friendship group, of them just making fun out of Natsuki. Like, Natsuki was just there to provide cupcakes and to be a kind of an anchor towards their annoyances within their day-to-day basis, because Natsuki likes manga, Yuri likes heavy text, Shuri tries to cater herself towards both kinds of styles, and then Monica being a kind of an anomaly for writing poems, but also just, well, being able to write coding. Like, at the beginning of the literature club, Monica must have thought up of these kind of ideas that, well, these characters in some way can be manipulated, but before I manipulate them, I want to learn about them at their purest form. Like Sayuri here at her purest form, like Yuri here at her purest form, like Natsuki at her purest form. She didn't want to alter the original coding until she's learnt about these characters. And then from there, Monica set about the stages of bringing a new character into the world. Like, Monica's remark about these characters just being anomalies or just being able to be edited and erased, stuff like that. I think in the side stories there is no such mention about that kind of thing, because of the fact that the main character of the game, with whom you name as what you want it to be, for me it would be just Flare, or if I wanted like the full title, then it would be FlareBlitzed. Like, I don't use FlareBlitzed other than for crediting and just like the channel name itself, but for anything casual or for game name protagonist's sake, I would always just refer to Flare. Any kind of like interactions with people, I prefer to be called Flare. It's just for any crediting or any professional work, I prefer to be called FlareBlitzed. Okay, I've went on for far too long, but this has just been an absolutely lovely tale. I think this is actually one of my personal favourite promos, actually, because I think in a way it reflects these characters very well. Grim Reaper being kind of like hidden away and quiet. Oh my god, Yuri's drinking blood out of that. And also the colour of that cup being like a colour of a skeleton. And then there's Monica, who is like an angel, but at the same time, you could think of it as like a fallen angel, kind of like a concept out of high school DxD sort of a way. And then there's Monica, Celebrate Birthday, which I imagine would be the protagonist with Monica. And then there's a sleepover over here, and it says they're easily disturbed, for goodness sakes. Wow. And then there's Celebrate Monica's 20th birthday in 2020. Why is it just Monica, for goodness sakes? Like, these other 3 characters have birthdays as well, but presumably because of the factor that, well, these characters are just created, therefore they don't have birthdays. Because, well, they don't deserve a birthday according to Monica's perspective because they were created rather than born. But then again, Natsuki has a dad. But then again, there could be like some sort of complex in there where she's programmed to think that she has a dad. Achieve a special ending of the story. And then achieve a special ending of the story. Like we're playing sketches of them without being coloured in. A rough concept sketch of what the faceless protagonist might have looked like if he was a real character. Come on now, he is a real character. Like in this CG, we partially saw him. We didn't see the face, but we know that his hair color is brown, and it's the same length as Sayori's hair color. Reply, I love you to Sayori's confession. Like, either way, she would have had herself the guilt of being accepted by the confession, but also a kind of regret from not having the confession accepted at all. Like, I think I like you more than you like me, sort of thing. But this has been such a wonderful adventure. A wonderful adventure with 4, 5 individuals with their own struggles in their lives. It's just so fascinating. Fascinating above other kind of aspects. And that's why I love visual novels so much, because you can take away something from these games and construct your own kind of conversation with other people who also play the game and thinking, yeah, this kind of thing happened. Like, there are some things that are canonical, don't get me wrong. There are some things which are canonical, like Monica deleting the other 3 characters. That's canonical. That's what she did. Like, when the main character went to see Sayori Hun, that's when Monica was like, well, the character file of the main character become disturbed because of the appearance of Sayori there, so therefore it is now time for Sayori's game data file to be erased by Monica. Like, I don't get how Monica can actually do this sort of thing, and it all comes down, I think, to the male aspect. Like, this male aspect, not like M-A-L-E, but this aspect, or these aspects right here, have some kind of backstory which is very, very ingrained into why Monica exists in the first place. I'm sure there are people out there who could probably like dig into the files of the game and be able to find stuff out. Yeah, at the moment I still haven't reset it so that it actually has Monica's file in it. Missing notes, tests, missing notes, that one there. Like, there's so much mystery to this. Tower key, access keys found so far from tower rotation, gear pair, sorry, key pair 1 gear, key pair 2 boat, key pair 3 spaceship, key pair 4 that. This could be a journey of how Monica came to Earth, in a way. Monica is some kind of being that came from another world or another existence or reality, and that's how she came to Earth in order to meld it into how she wanted it to, in a way. Like, there's so much mystery, and I think the mystery is what makes these games truly special. This outro has gone for long enough. Thank you all so much for watching, guys. Thank you to everybody who's come on board to watch these videos, who have commented and stuff like that. Without the people who watch my videos, then I don't think I'd still be making videos to this day. Like, I probably quit years ago if I didn't know that people liked the videos or people commented on videos. But I think the most important thing for me is that the passion is still there, despite the fact that thinking that I think I should stop doing Let's Plays next year in 2022. Just because I think that the kind of games that I cover either have outlived their hype in a way, or have died down to a point where not a lot of interest is put into both visual novels and RPG Maker kind of games. But I'm happy to be here regardless, and I'm happy about these kind of games coming out because it is so endearing and so enlightening. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we shall see each other in the next video of where it may ever be. Whether it's Katara Sojo, or Your Turn to Die, or any other games in the future, like Floofstruck, or Girls, 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 or any other kind of games. Thank you so much for watching and take care of yourselves.